Battle control initialized.
Hey people, 5 Aces here. Welcome back after a brief 1-week intermission. You've probably been seeing a 1-week ad break for Bud Light being passed off as craft beer because that's what the 7th level of hell looks like. But anyway, we've got a great series at our hands here, and the player in the spawning down in the south is going to be 1-0 up. We are witnessing the culmination, part 2 of Mr. AMHOL, the fine connoisseur of artisan cheese and dairy-related products, prolific community member, versus the newcomer who presumably allegedly holds a grudge against this world, the eponymous misery that he wants to give back to the world, share with them by being the very best at OpenRA, beating out everyone in the field. So, that is going to be Misery spawning as France and Mr. AMHOL spawning as Russia. This is going to be very spicy. Pit fight is the map of choice. And already a dog opener. And he's gonna run into this with his rifles first, trying to target down the dog. Not finding the snipes. Some controlled fire micro. Ooh. Missing the cell. I think he missed by a small part of a tile. There's actually some RNG involved, because where the attack dog is positioned, if it's positioned on the outskirts of this cell, then it can't actually be targeted by direct force fire, because direct force fire always goes in the middle of the cell. So only spread damage then can kill the dog. Anyway, the dog immediately being bonded to another rifle infantry there, trying to bond here and trying to actually intercept an engineer. Ooh, that was barely within line of sight. And I doubt Misery does want to take this fight, but he's got his rifle stationed up north, so he's just trying to secure his oils, trying to play for time, while the engineer is actually going down south. As we can see with the playtest, this is a playtest game. One of the first ones after a series of older games in the older client, which means that if you hold down Shift, PSA, in the playtest, in the upcoming versions, if you select a unit and hold down Shift, you can permanently see all orders that are being queued. That is one of the most awesome features, as evidenced here. You're seeing where the engineer is going, except it's going to be intercepted by a big light tank push. Yeah, this one ain't going to get far. I'm sorry. RIP. Oh, but he's trying to make amends by just trying to sneak his attack dog up north. And this is where the line of sight disadvantage doesn't come in. Really smart play from AMHOL. Knows that there is something to dislodge. Should now pull back. Knows about the light tank. Yeah. Overstaying is welcome by quite a bit. The attack dog? You can't capture, silly dog. You don't have a wrench. You don't have a wrench icon, buddy. And hospital doesn't help. Oh, the block as well. Splat. Block into dog splat. That was a straight out dog splat here. Third harvester coming online for Misery. And oh, yes. Well, this is either grenades or flamethrowers, but seeing as there's a flame tower already erected in the middle of AMHOL's base, there is a high probability of flamer drops right now. Bust out the barbecues, boys. This is gonna be a spicy one. I love it. Engineer still waiting in the wings. And nothing yet out from Misery. He's just markering up, trying to bide his time, trying to actually gain an asset advantage, which currently it's even. Yeah, completely even. So in goes the APC. What's the follow-up plan for AMHOL? Yeah, service depot for both. What's the juiciest target? Probably the war factory. There is no defense lined up whatsoever. Rockets are starting to appear, but that's gonna be a very nasty timing. Ooh, he's going for the power. Alright. Nice! Displaying how you can shift queue every single order now. This was a flamer burst into a move-in order. That is pretty awesome. That's probably an overcommitment. Loses a lot of flamers here. Yeah, this riff is not gonna go down anytime soon. So, moderately worth it. Probably, like, if you look at the direct asset value, definitely not worth it. And we're checking the combat tab. Yeah, it's like a 2k down trade, but in terms of economy, this now means that Misery is on 0 power for the time being. Someone didn't pay his bills, and thus he's going to be relegated to floating 7k, while at the same rate not being able to get out his MCV in time. Production tab, yeah, 126. Look at that. Timer for the MCV doubles to, or quadruples actually, to 4 minutes. Jesus. That is to 2 minutes. That is actually brutal. So he can't help but float. he is so far behind off of that. He needs to start producing to just Yeah, to just start investing into his 401k funds there. Because this ain't gonna do much. He's got a small detachment out. The light tanks might actually... Ooh, there's barely any rockets here. By which I mean none. I mean, techies can make for makeshift rockets, like pipe rockets maybe. Bottled rockets. Ooh, okay. Misery not paying enough attention. He didn't scout it. But at the same rate, there is no Tesla quill just yet. Tesla, and that's not gonna be Tesla at all. That's gonna be a flamethrower tower. Ooh, civilian, yes, heal. Heal, my pretty. So at the end of the day, this is not the worst thing for AMHOL, because all his units can regenerate. So as Soviets, I really like the hospital. I like that he's been going for that. It's gonna be immediately invalidated by the light tanks, but hey, it had a good run. It patched up a civilian. That's what we wanted to see. Interactive gameplay right there. And still a little sneaky cheeky breaky detachment. 2 rockets that might be enough to snipe a harvester if AMHOL doesn't pay attention. Or if he pulls his entire army out of position to deal with those 2 tanks. That would also be an option. Well, that was a bit of an overcommitment. Bit too pessimistic, thinking that Misery had way more that... Oh, a grand drop! Yeah, and like I said, AMHOL likes his cheese. He's a very much of a dairy product connoisseur. Awesome, but he's also got a solid macro plan backup. As we can see here, he's not floating, he's got... Whoa, what? The assets are so behind for him. How did that even happen? What? Excuse me? But he's gonna be able to find a nice concave here. This is a very good positioning. Perfect concave, and Misery has to fight with basically a concave disadvantage. So his... Ooh, all his units are just moving in. Eventually the Mechiel is probably going to be enough to keep up with it. Yeah. Finally managing to push AMHOL out of there. Gather around the hospital, gather around the campfire and tell us your best war stories. Grandpa. Ooh, Tesla quill deployed. Did you see the stutter step? That was awesome. The rocket infantry fired a Zook. Ooh, triple zap. What? They're both going for each other's natural expansions, okay. But also, AMHOL lost a halberster in the process. That might have been from the battalion left behind there. Just trying to camp the ore patches. That's sweet. So just sniping a harvester basically for free. Trading for a little bit of infantry. This would be... AMHOL would be well advised getting rid of the oil derrick. It's just free. Just producing free money for Misery right now. 9k float! That all started with the power snipe in the early game. 41 PM, nothing to scoff at here. And we're gonna check the economy tab. Yeah, assets are even. Slight advantage, slight edge for AMHOL now, but that's gonna change. That's about to change. This is gonna be a miserable engagement here. Oh no. No. With line of sight advantage. Ah, he gets some nice crushes. Misery should now pull back his tanks. They're so wounded. 2 of them biting the dust, but that's alright. 1 of them still alive. He is probably a bit too trigger happy here. Well, that is unless AMHOL just sends his infantry down right. Ooh, what a nasty pillbox infantry mill. Well, that's gonna be the MCB forced away. Good stuff. I didn't expect that engagement to go Misery's way there. But at the end of the day, just not enough anti-armor. Ooh, even survives with that tank. Sweet. This tank a bit ill-fated. Tesla gets him on the way out. Probably wouldn't have happened with the upcoming balance changes because Tesla quills are now getting a half cell range reduction, which is gonna inadvertently fix the bug where they fire... Ooh. That was probably no racks or something. Refo racks, nothing too impactful. Ooh, a terrible rally point. Yikes. 2 tanks being donated over, but at least he saves that one. Hashtag save the animals. Oh, that's a very smart idea. Concrete wall. Able to deal with all the pillboxes and turrets that he's gonna throw at him, as long as the concrete wall stands. As long as there's not too many rockets. He can now single the rockets out as well. So if he plays his cards right, he's gonna have such a field day. Okay, concrete wall falls. This tank is in a bit of a compromised position, if I were to say so myself. Ooh. Flame tower, like the 1-2 punch. You see the AoE damage from the flame tower, plus the long range of the Tesla. Ultimately not making a difference here, but well, no, it was nice to see regardless. There is a massive armor column out. With all this left-right, with all the engagements left and right, AMHOL has just quietly been brewing up a storm here in terms of actual army mass. It's gonna be met with an almost equal army mass, but the tanks from Misery are woefully out of position this time around. That didn't happen in game 1. In game 1 he was so good with his army placement. Game 2, focus starting to slip a little here. Man, so many husks. A kingdom for a bunch of mechanics here. Bunch of dudes with wrenches. That's all we need. Ooh, he's trying to camp the ore patches again. This is such an awkward game. Both are taking each other's naturals. And Misery's additionally trying to harvest the middle as well. He needs to transfer some eco right there. Man, what a game. This is already a bit spicy. I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, this is smarter. So Misery is deploying backline Tesla Quells plus Wall-Offs again. Brilliant. The Wall-Offs are gonna be so good just at keeping AMHOL at bay. You basically can't engage into this at all. And nice defensive positioning. Ooh, secondary detachment is going for the Conyard. But he's not focusing down the rifles. Well, maybe the mass might be just enough if he keeps the tank on moving. Yeah, chase with the tank. Road advantage is going to secure the kill, presumably. Tesla Quill, unpowered. No, not like this. Oh my lord, gets the killing blow. But not before AMHOL gets a refinery out, right, with it 2 harvesters, so he can also start mining the gems. That is actually still impactful at the end of the day. He went for a triple Conyard, by the way. It was his 3rd Conyard that he just lost. Yeah, tank being parked in the eco lines, that's always annoying. Ultimately, he won't be able to do much with it, but hey, it's just fun. Just keeping your opponent off his ore patch and his guard up. 2 more tanks being deployed to the left. I really like the positional game from Misery there. Never clustering his army in one place. Always just keeping his opponent guessing, and neither of the players has really gotten the time for any tech play just yet. Now there's Misery's first Black Hawk coming in just a moment. But his base in the middle is gonna get routed. Unless Misery can react in time, let's see here. That's Assault move. Assault move means that they're gonna target everything. Which in turn means that the power plant has already soaked its fair share of damage. Conyard goes down, ore trucks go down. Very costly engagement for AMHOL, but I think it's worth it. Just denying your opponent's mining opportunities. Keep him from mining more. Yeah, ore truck is gonna start taking a beating. So nice to see all the player orders right now. Man, Misery has to commit so much into killing the Teslas. Now, ultimately, with the wall that AMHOL himself created, the wall is being used against its own creator there. Yeah, 3rd MCV for AMHOL is also gonna get routed in just a moment. Plus, in the middle, he's starting to push through. He hasn't lost any tanks here. More aggressive positioning from AMHOL, though. 2 Black Hawks now. Plus a lot of armor. He needs to block. You know what? He should actually block the exits. Blocking the exits to the barracks would be the smartest move there. Yeah, finally getting rid of the eco in the middle. Very good. Ooh, but he needs to fight with a... He needs to contest this push here. 3 heavies. Oh, 3 heavies in your main base. That is just a rough time for any allied player. We've all been there. There is Soviet armor superiority supreme. Sniping early tech. What are you gonna do against it? Build more rifles? Good luck, buddy. Ah, savage. He just... AMHOL with the gaming instinct, finding the right time. He should go... Oh, Misery is rallying for the main base right now. That is so good. Yeah, counterattack is probably his best bet. And walls. Like, he can't block them with wall tiles anymore. The tanks are too close. It's probably a Radar Dome snipe, but that's alright because he's got a triple helipad and a tech center. Oh. The V2. The V2, it got a good shot. Another good shot here. Right. Oh, so many husks. Wait. Oh my goodness. 2 thieves going in as well. He's got 2 V2s out. He should be able to hold his ore factory there. How much is he gonna steal? Oh! Okay, one of the thieves went through and it stole like 8 times. Oh no! Little slip of attention from AMHOL. and loses his war factory, unnecessarily so, I'd say. But he's up to Radodome, he's up to an airfield himself. Man, there's already gonna be longbows out. Jeez, he lost so much. He lost 2 ore trucks. Man, those heavy tanks really did a number on the econ. Those heavy tanks might have been turning the tide. Oh, here is Tanya. Female commando, strong independent woman. Trying to push away all the infantry, successfully routing them. Yeah, come at me, bro. Pew, pew, pew. Unprotected Tanya, obviously it was a risk, but hey, just style points. Ka-ching. That's how you know ooh, yikes. Samsite denying some of the choppers here. That's how you know she's an action hero, by the way. Her hair is always blowing in the wind, as you can see. Some more V2s starting to appear. Samsites to protect them as well. That is a good call. But at the end of the day, Misery's... Ooh! The Samsite. 1 hind down. Blackhawks. 2 Blackhawks down. For 2 V2s any day of the week. Tanya gets sniped. AMHOL just has an equal advantage right now. And it's very bad positioning here. Misery's tanks in the back lines. That's not how you want this engagement to go. And more reinforcements streaming in. He's trying to close the sack. Yikes. Misery being routed here, but he's got tier 3. That's his saving grace. That is... Look at that. Blackhawk, longbow. Fat Blackhawk, skinny Blackhawk. Come on, can't tell me you're not seeing this. Yaks have been spotted. Nice. Takes a yak out on the way as well. Man, AMHOL has basically 2 base. He's got 1 Conyard left. No, there's a second. But he's got so many forward production points. That is annoying. Even though he doesn't actually have a base here. Misery should reroute to the left here and probably build an artillery. He's got his Radodome back up. Build artillery, crawl with pillboxes plus AA guns, fortify this position and eventually contest this double ore patch. It is a juicy target indeed right now. Triple yak now. As soon as you get a critical yak mass like the yak flock, it is devastating. You can snipe the service depot, or go for the power, that's also fine. Ooh, 70k over 40k. Yeah, just more econ for AMHOL. At the end of the day, he was able to mine from the middle, he was able to mine from both of his expansions, and this expansion here for Misery has been denied for quite a while now. But he's got his tier 3 trump card. Let's see what comes of it. Sniping a Tesla coil here and there, that's fine. But nothing too game changing. Yeah, this Black Hawk is in a compromised position. That is the picture definition of a compromised position. Ooh. Flak with road advantage could have actually chased, but the building was blocking the way. So thanks, Obama. No more helicopter production. Yeah, Misery is just so pressed for cash right now. He is. His economy is trickling in at the speed of government. It's just not fun for him right now. Oh no, another ore refinery down. Tanya, at least, in the back line's gonna be able to route the infantry assault. Oh, haha. Ka-ching, give it to me, baby. Up to vet 1. And down under. 6 feet under. Yeah. That was a very valiant attempt. But look at the infantry masses from AMHOL, like Spamhole. He ain't calling himself Spamhole for no reason there. Also tier 3. Also an Iron Curtain. Oh, what is the phase trans... That would have been a good idea in theory. Phase transports have been nerfed to hell and back, but it would still have made for a fine addition right there. Phase transports now, in this iteration of OpenRA, get detected by literally every single infantry unit at 1 cell range. And being that infantry are the most ubiquitous unit in the game, yeah, it's hard to sneak through anywhere. This MCV is deploying in a very ambitious position there. Trying to win the Darwin Award for 2019. Let's see how it's gonna go. Spews out the barracks. Well, it's not the worst. He's got a forward rally point now. That would actually does make a difference here. because he can defend his forward rally point. That is pretty sweet. Yeah, so AMHOL just slowly inching his way forward, trying to close out the game as methodically as possible. Methodically and sound. Yeah, there's the phase transport back, probably a Tanya. No rockets. Huh? Or is maybe too broke for a Tanya? He has to feed off of kill bounties for the time being. If he pulls this back, I would be amazed. We've seen comebacks. We have seen comebacks indeed. Let's see. Well, the phase transport ain't gonna do much good without a Tanya to boot. So he definitely needs to invest there. Even with this abysmal situation. Oh, a chronosphere. He's going all in. He's trying to win the tech arms race. Just a nuke as well, maybe. Oh, that's so smart! What AMHOL has been doing there, my goodness. And just like that, the tech is denied. That was brilliant play, and skirting along the edges as well. What he did there is drawing fire with the paradrop. A directional paradrop, I might add. GG being called as well. Drawing the fire off the anti-air gun and then going in with his Yaks, and yeah, T3 was the only thing keeping Misery in the game. Also, the Iron Curtain was ready to fire and never fired a single time in this game. I think he was just getting ready for it. What a game. What a game 2. I think we are ready for game 3. Also, it was probably like a coaching session, considering they're talking like balance and whatnot. Yeah, it looks like it. Pretty cool. Yeah, the first phase APC ran into a Tesla coil. That was unfortunate. Could have spotted that earlier. It now also has a health buff, so it barely survives the Tesla zap. But then, like, the flak truck finished it off. Okay, cool. So that leaves it at a 1-1, and we're gonna be back with the conclusion. See you in a sec.
Battle control terminated. Battle control initialized.
And here we are in game 3 to decide once and for all the age-old question. What is the stronger sentiment that affects humans more? Misery or the lust for cheese? Personally, my money is on the latter. Alright, this is gonna be... Ooh! This matchup is gonna be a classic just ask your local history teacher. We're gonna have France versus Germany for ourselves. Just ask your local history teacher how that went the past 20 times this has actually been played out in real life. Kappa Pride. It's long enough ago to make jokes about that, so... One of the good things about history. So, thanks EU. Anyway, so Barracks Opener versus... This doesn't look like a regular Barracks Opener to me, this looks like Greed Lord build from... A Rice Lord build from Spamhole, if you will. Oops, accidentally selected everything. Yeah, it looks like he's just going one refinery, Barracks... War Factor Rush, yep. On this map, in my personal opinion, that's very iffy. Because Misery has a very short route to the main base. He can already rallying in the troops. He's got already like a 20 stack of rifles. Maybe gonna follow it up with a couple rockets to complement that. But there was enough money left in the bank for a pillbox. So let's see how this one goes. He's at least protecting the flanks here. So 2 rifles stationed there. 2 guards. Don't let your guard down. Oh! Let's see, what do we think about this push? Pillbox says... Pillbox says... Niet. Well, that settles that, I guess. He's trying again from another angle, banking on the fact that AMHOL won't ever go for a second pillbox, ever again. But fair, like he hasn't seen any infantry, so he must assume that it's either out of position or he's a War Factory rusher. Dirty War Factory rush plus Ranger. Ranger danger imminent. Yeah, with 1 Ranger he can't fight that, by the way. Rangers take 2 salvos to kill a single rifleman, so he needs way more than just that. Kills one of the guards, second one gets away scot-free. Now 2 Rangers, yeah. This is where I draw the line. 2 Rangers plus 2 rifles, that's enough to halt the assault. Some nice... Good rhyming skills here. Yeah, the drive-by. So by the way, this is something that should get fixed in one of the upcoming releases. Right now, the reason why the riflemen are so ineffective against rangers when they do perform a drive-by is because the facing tolerance of infantry allows them to just look and take aim whenever something just out-rotates them, and actually even tanks can do that. Ooh, a detachment of rockets. This was the very definition of frame perfect. I think he did not see this. No, he would have routed his rangers to the south. Jeez, that was so close. And out comes a light tank, just denying one of the rangers. That's good. So, yeah, there's now a detachment with like 3 rockets. That is moderately dangerous. Let's see where this leads us. Misery is going for his warfare service depot now, whereas AMHOL went for a 3rd refinery. Ooh, his eco is not actually that good. 4th ore truck is going to be coming out for Misery already. And there's going to be... Yeah, this is just an earlier MCV timing for Misery than it is for AMHOL. Probably going for a 420 MCV. The 420 Blazed build. Whereas AMHOL is more looking at a... What... 5 minute... Yeah... 5 minute 10 MCV or something. Let's see how that develops. But other than that, very calm early game. Very slow, methodical. And this map is also one I haven't talked about. This is an RHL Season 5 and 6 map. It is Borrowed Time. Was, I think, created by Omnom, and it shows. Very low econ, very many opportunities for base pushes. Especially base pushes over bodies of water. One of the most annoying things, like Tesla Camp. This is an imbalanced map in terms of Soviets versus Allies, because if you get a Tesla coil here, you can zap the harvester. If you get a turret here, you can't do shit. But hey, no, it's not actually that imbalanced. Have never seen that play a big role. Oh, he's moving out his original MCV plus triple racks already. And he's... Okay, that is a bit of a divergence from the regular build. That's not a 420 MCV. No, that's rather a medium tank rush. So, 4 minute 40 medium tank, plus a light tank still on the wings. Oh, this is gonna get sniffed out though. Let's see. Ooh, he's not checking the patch. No. Okay, still waiting here. Still waiting, the wings is the flank. Yeah, so with 1 medium, 1 light, that just gives him an early distinct armor advantage. He's probably banking on finding... He's banking on finding an unprotected infantry blob at like minute 5. There's a good chance your opponent doesn't have any armor yet because he went for an MCV first. So that's a build that can catch someone off guard really easily and offset the balance. Eco transfer already out for AMHOL, just like any good StarCraft player would do. Eco transfer immediately with the deployment of the comm center. But same for Misery, so their eco should be even for the time being. First scout being sacrificed here. Lots of rockets, good position for AMHOL. I don't think Misery can fight this. Nope. Way too many rockets on the dance floor here. Down goes the tank. But at the end of the day, it was an even trade. Bit of infantry. Medium tank for medium tank. There is now 1 expansion out per player. We've got a perfect 1 expansion per capita ratio. The economists are going to be happy. And in terms of... Okay, AMHOL actually traded up, considerably so. And the assets are... Yeah, also, ball is in the court of AMHOL. Good hustle. I really like, but something I'm gonna comment on, I really like the formations for Misery. Because this is logically speaking the only way, the only path that AMHOL can take to assault Misery's base. And he's deliberately putting the tanks in front and forming a concave. That's something many players don't bother doing. But that just increases your DPS by so much. Really, really nice play. And conversely for AMHOL, this is a bit dangerous because he just has his infantry sitting out without any heavy armor protection. Ooh. Also something I wanted to go into detail about is that this map features a lot of tricky spots because those roadblocks, like wooden fences, can get crushed by vehicles without you realizing. Or like the civilians can get crushed, and that's gonna give you away your position. Sometimes that's really, really bad. Ooh. Oh! AMHOL deployed a macro refinery, and it's immediately being sniped by the... Wow! And Misery even pulling to the west as well. He's heading west like Fievel. But there's gonna be a massive base push. AMHOL is not gonna let that one sit here. He is gonna deploy. He's gonna have a very angry and very big infantry cluster. Couple tanks plus an MCV. As we all know, the MCV is the most lethal combat vehicle. Finds another ore truck. What a juicy target. Oh, AMHOL not realizing in time. Oof. Loses 2 ore trucks to this. 2 ore trucks down for free. That is already a big deal. And now it's going for north. Jeez, this is gonna be a nasty flank. Misery might be well advised going for the econ straight away. Has to weed out the pillboxes first. The army's rotating back. Oh, they can fire over the ridges here. I didn't think they would have the range. They're lining up. They're lining up for some big crush. Oh! The block. Still some sick crushes. That went from terrible to great to terrible again. Like, all in the span of 2 seconds. So what happened there was, there is only a 1-tile passage here. And the first tank got sniped too early, before it crushed anything. But here's wave 2. Then, the overkill from the rocket soldiers actually, the remaining shots actually killed the husk, opening the gap again. But then, it went back to sour. Yeah, bad engagement here. Wait, does AMHOL have too many rockets here? Yeah, Misery's taken this engagement. This was not supposed to be his engagement here. Way too many support units for AMHOL. Oh no. And this little detachment, these guys are heroes of war. Like, straight up. Killing another tank, routing another. Did they kill 2 harvesters? Are you kidding me? No, those were transferred. Still though, that is an insane play from Misery. Just that little delegation. Here's the counter push, but it's gonna be met. And what happens when an unstoppable force meets an impenetrable wall? You see it here. Not so unstoppable after all. Oh, needs to transfer the harvester here. At least saves the half, that's alright. There is another wave coming in. Lots of tanks out for AMHOL, but jeez, Misery has played him. He did play the player, not the game here. Nice wall. Wall of mediums there. And just like that, he can't push anymore. Yikes, what a game. Insane play, but at the end of the day, that leaves us with a 2 base, like 3 base over 2 base for Misery. So he's... Ooh, the nasty deploy bug again. Like, shift Q deploying doesn't work properly anymore in the playtest, and that's something that needs to be looked at. It's probably like a feature change, I don't know. But still. This map doesn't allow for floating, by the way. Never. Not even once. But I think the asset discrepancy is going to be big after that. Yeah, like 34k under 56. Yikes. It's going for mass mechanics here, probably trying to recapture some husks. But if you're already this far behind, going for mass support units is a big liability. Yeah, this might be met with a massive brute force approach from Misery. That's all he needs to do, really. Yeah. Trying to capture some husks, but I think they're gonna time out even. Yeah, all of them timing out. No, not like this. How do you stop this? 7 mediums. 8th medium joining the fray. Massive infantry push. And here he doesn't even have a turret to deny the econ. It's looking bleak for AMHOL. Harvester situation is still okay though. So there's that. Only question remains is, where is Misery gonna attack first? Yeah, that's the vulnerable lifelines here. AMHOL transferring the harvesters, selling out. I don't think it's gonna cut the mustard. Hey, finally a turret. Oh, he's trying to tank with the ore truck. Valiant effort, but in the face of such reckless allied forces, there is just no way. No way, Jose. Crushes can't be out-healed, and neither can the PTSD that these mechanics will have after surviving this battle, maybe. Run, buddies. Run off the map, never to be seen again. This is not your battle. You don't want to participate. He's trying to tank with the ore truck by repairing it. Jeez. What a game. That was amazing. Really well played. AMHOL actually was super ahead in the early. And then he just blew it by taking a couple bad engagements and also losing 2 harvesters. Like, that was such an impactful early game where his rangers barely missed the rockets going south by 1 cell. That actually meant that the rockets could get into position and camp the first ore truck, then move left immediately after sniping it, kill a second ore truck, and then go into the back lines, route 2 more ore trucks, and kill a tank. That was insane value for that little investment. And that was what set AMHOL so behind. Ultimately, even his tanking ore trucks plus mass repairs strategy didn't work out. Didn't pan out the way it was supposed to. Jeez Louise, that was an insane game. Yeah, really well played. It actually really short, like 12 minutes. Felt like more. What a series. So congrats to Misery for prevailing. That sounds a bit bleak. congrats to the player Misery for prevailing. And AMHOL really made him work for it though. Really gave him a run for his money. And thus the newcomer prevails over the establishment, if I say so myself. So, thank you for watching. I'm hoping to see more from Misery in the future. And also more cheese from AMHOL. Hell yeah. Some good old-fashioned cheese right there. Game 2 was also awesome with the Flamer drop. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week with another great matchup that I found. And RHL reports as well. RHL is back, baby. See you next week. 5 aces out.
Battle control terminated.